everybody, my name is Jacob Toronto from the Rebel Yell over here at UNLV. I'm the A&E Senior Staff Writer. Today I'm joined by quite an interview group, the filmmakers from Inside Out. We have Pete Docter, we have Ronnie Del Carmen, and we have Jonas Rivera. Can you guys tell us what your roles are on the film?
Yeah, I'm the director and I did some writing.
I'm the co-director and I did some co-directing.
I'm the producer.
This team worked on one of the more popular Disney Pixar films, Up, which I want to briefly talk about before we get into Inside Out, which will be premiering June 19th. Up is commonly known for that great cinematic opening, the montage where people cry and they say, you know, it made me cry, and they didn't have any words. How does it feel hearing that you've gotten to strike people so emotionally without words and just beautiful animation?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and Ronnie boarded a lot of that, so that was stuff that we'd written, and it was your idea to say, hey, what if we took the dialogue out and just used the visuals? And at first I think my reaction was like, I don't know, Ronnie, if that's going to work. So luckily
yeah, we're big self-doubters of our own work. Not only that, if you remember, we actually told the story of Carl and Ellie from the time that they were little all the way up to when they got old. Yes. So we have a lot of their story that nobody's seen.
40 minutes of screen time.
Yes. So it's like, and the movie hasn't even started yet. Right. So, you know, because I worked in advertising, you know, I can tell you a story for a 30-second spot or a 60-second spot. Let's see if we can whittle this baby down. Yeah. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Inside Out tells the story of a young girl and her emotions and her feelings that are inside her mind, as you guys alluded to. And it seems like it's going to be really focusing on the relationship between joy and sadness. And I've noticed a trend in you guys worked on Monsters, Inc. as well, and Up. I wanted to know, what is it with unusual relationships, just the unlikely friendships that bond? We have Sully and Boo, we have Carl and Russell, and now joy and sadness. Why is there always this kind of frantic friendships that just kind of come out of nowhere?
I think the thing that makes us interested in stories is watching a character change. And you look at anything from Breaking Bad to Dumbo, and it's all about character change. And to me, as I think a lot about that, the primary the motivation in character change is relationships. And it's bumping up against people that you disagree with or you know, love or hate or whatever that causes that change. So that's really at the root of a lot of what we do.
And we're really proud that we can combine Breaking Bad and Dumbo into an answer. That's something.
I'm so proud of Peter actually coming up with that.
I know you guys have said it before. You said it today during your presentation here at UNLV that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was somewhat of an inspiration. Were there any other films that you guys were watching that kind of helped you inspire throughout this film? In particular, maybe Breaking Bad, if that's the case?
I'm trying to think. Like, there's tons of stuff that we'd reference almost daily, different films, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Wizard of Oz is one, like a standard, right?
Yeah.
Casablanca comes up every other day.
E.T.
In the studio, not a day goes by where there isn't a Star Wars reference.
In fact, our editor, Kevin Nolting, has a jar, and he claims he's never seen Star Wars, and every time one of us mentions Star Wars, we have to put $1 in the jar. So he's made a lot of money on this movie.
Yeah, right. So Inside Out, which is coming to theaters again, June 19th. Briefly, why is this film something that you felt the need to really put all your concentration, all your focus in? As you guys have said again in this presentation, it was one of the hardest films you had to work on, just the repetitive process. It was really exhausting. Just talk about that for those who weren't here at the presentation today.
Yeah, it was a tough film because the basic concept is there's an 11-year-old girl, but she is actually the setting, not the character so much, because inside her head are her emotions. And they work there in headquarters, and their job is to drive Riley through life and help her cope with any given situation, be it in an angry way or fear, disgust, sadness, or joy. That was kind of a cool pitch, but it's very abstract, right? What do those characters look like? What does headquarters look like? What is, who knows, right? So that was a big, long challenge. At the root of it, though, and Ronnie really challenged me on this early on when we first met, was like, this had better be an emotionally driven film. If it's about emotions, it should be emotional for the audience to watch. And so we did some thinking and talking about where does that come from in our lives? And my daughter at the time had grown up from, she just turned about 11, I think, and she had grown up from being a real kind of wild, a lot of joyful, you know, energy in her, to being a little more quiet and sitting back and reclusive. And I started feeling sad about that because as a parent, I love, you know, the little kids. Of course, I love her now too. But that was a big change that sort of sparked the question: what's what's happening inside her head?
And for my last question before we wrap up, you guys are all wearing some UNLV, beautiful UNLV Rebel Yell shirts.
We just wore this to show up like this.
I know.
You guys, yeah.
We picked it out ourselves.
I really want to thank you guys for coming to UNLV and speaking to the film department and other students. And I want to know, why did you feel that was important to do so, to actually come talk to the future, the possible future of film?
Well, I think we were all students, animation students, film students, and we grew up loving movies. And so to us, it's a great honor to be able to come and speak to enthusiastic students that want to hear and learn about filmmaking, and in this case, animated filmmaking at Pixar, which is something we know a little bit about and we're very proud of. So it was really, I suspect more than you know, an honor for us.
Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Pete, Russell, Jonas.
I could be Russell.
Ronnie, I'm sorry. Pressure's on. But thank you guys so much for joining us today at UNLV. Again, this is the Rebel Yell and Chasing Cinema signing off. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks.